I'm looking down the lens or up at you, Tommy?
Up at the lens.
Are you waiting for me? Hi, I'm Jerrie-Joy. I am a cook, food stylist, prop stylist. I live here in Sydney and I love cooking in this tiny kitchen. I'm gonna cook some gözleme. It is a Turkish stuffed flatbread. For a lot of people in Sydney that have spent their weekends at various markets around the place, you always know you're gonna line up. It's fun, it's easy, and anything wrapped in flaky pastry with hot cheesy filling is gonna be delicious. Come in with me and do some cooking. We are gonna do Silverbeet, cheese, feta, a little bit of stringy, salty mozzarella, maybe some herbs. I'm not gonna go meat. This does love lamb though. So we're gonna do our dough. We're gonna let that rest. We're gonna get a whole heap of greens, a bit of onion, bit of spices, some herbs, fold it through, and then we're gonna fry them in some veggie oil and we'll be eating in about an hour, probably over the sink with heaps of lemon. Now, I know that you probably just wanna scoop the flour, but really the best way to do flour is just to very delicately layer it in the cup. That is what recipes call for. Salt. It's about a tablespoon, which is 2 big pinches. And then I'm gonna get some lukewarm water. I think it's about a cup. Well in the center, like you're doing a pasta dough, and then gradually bringing it together. You might need less, you might need more. It actually kind of depends on the flour you have. This is not a bougie flour. This is an all-purpose, run-of-the-mill supermarket flour. Okay, so that's good. So it's really sticking to me. We're gonna just keep kneading until it doesn't. After 7 minutes of this, you want it to be a lot more elastic. And generally when you put your finger in, you want none of it to come back out onto your finger. Anyway, if you've had a shit day, this is a really good way to work that out. So that was about 2 cups and 2 tablespoons of flour and less than 1 cup of lukewarm water. And this is gonna make 4 gözlemes. So we can push in and not get any back on our finger, which is what we want. And that's our dough. I guess that was even less than 10 minutes. Welcome to my green paradise. Seeing this much green makes me very, very happy. This amount of herbs is also very pleasing to me. I will always use a lot of herbs in my cooking. I don't understand why you wouldn't. They have so much flavor and so much goodness. Parsley, particularly, one of the best nutritional value herbs you can use. Silverbeet, favorite vegetable, kale, close second. Generally, they're always in my fridge, but whatever you have in your fridge that you want to stuff with flaky pastry, go right ahead. Yeah, you are in charge of your pastry pocket. I kind of fucked up and put all the greens here because they were pretty, but I actually need to cook the shallots. Cut them. So my uncle made me this knife. Anyway, it's my favorite knife. He wants me to try and get it in photo shoots, and it's just, I never have had the time. So shout out to Rod. I'm using shallots instead of onion because they're slightly sweeter. Yes, annoying to peel. Cooking and peeling vegetables can be a very relaxing thing to do. Mindfulness in cooking, peeling. Sure, I don't want to do like 15 cloves of garlic all the time, but see the joy in it. Enjoy the process. So I'm going to do this super rough. We're going to put the juice of 1 lemon in here, which will pretty quickly start breaking down the onion and the shallot. Because we're not cooking any of this filling, we want the onions to be slightly broken down. Microplane, a piece of equipment that I do really, really want you to get if you don't have one. All right, so that was zest of 1, juice of 2. A squeezy oil bottle. Yes, you can't show your perfect branded olive oil that you've invested so much money in, but this action is worth it. Dried mint is kind of a weird dried spice that I don't have much use for otherwise, but now I've started putting it in everything, and it just kind of takes, I don't know, it takes the flavor to like a global level. It could be from anywhere and everything. I don't know, it's that didn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, dried mint, try it. So we're gonna go 1 tablespoon of caraway, 2 teaspoons of cumin, more caraway forward. About a big whack of parsley, and about the same of mint. So I like to do dried herbs and fresh herbs because I just feel like they hit different notes in food. I'm not gonna take the leaves off the stems because that's really annoying, and I actually really like the crunch of the stem. Plus they're full of goodness. Very hydrating. So that's a good maybe 2 handfuls of herbs. I'm putting them in first because I kind of want them to do a little bit of acidulated cooking as well. That sounds fancy. Acidulated cooking with acids. So the acids in the lemon are gonna start breaking down those herbs. So it's maybe half a bunch of good kale, Tuscan kale, dino kale, what do people call it? Tuscan kale, lustanato in America, silverbeet, and just ribbons. As you get to the stemmy part, you might want to go like a little finer. I love silverbeet. I just feel like it has so much flavor. I love the depth of the color. I think that it takes on so much other flavor really well, and the actual leaves are just so silky when they're cooked. Okay, just kind of giving it a little massage. Mindful massaging of vegetables with Jerry. Salty, briny feta. Whole chunk. We're here. We are not here to fuck spiders. We are here to make good cheesy shit. Little smaller than that. You can really use whatever cheese that you have lying around, but we're kind of here to make something super delicious, so let's just add one more flavor. Paisanella, another phenomenal cheese brand made right here in Sydney in Marrickville. This is fior di latte. You could use like a stringy mozzarella, any kind of soft, salty, stringy, briny business. I think I'm gonna go like half of this. Some finger in there. Nothing is cooked, everything is raw. So I think that's actually why it ends up feeling so fresh and flavorful when you eat it, because everything just tastes like a burst of freshness. You've got all those good herbs, all that cheese, and it is definitely starting to break down. I mean, this has been like 5 minutes and it's definitely softer. So we're gonna set this aside and I'm gonna get the dough. I mean, food is a very tactile thing. Generally, I will cook things that I know I'm gonna enjoy feeling. I don't know how else to say that, but dough, oily, slippery foods, they're just nicer to work with. We're gonna do 4 out of this. So yes, I have a fancy scraper. Yes, it's about $5. Yes, you can have one. Okay, this is a 3-step rolling process. Still possible on a weeknight, I promise. We're gonna go for a rectangle. Look, I'm not gonna lie, my rolling skills aren't fantastic. I have been told many times that I'm a slow, annoying roller by people that employed me. But whatever, I just don't have the knack, I guess. Bit of salt. Veggie oil. I'm not using olive oil because I don't really want that flavor to get into my dough. I just kind of want the oil to stick it together and create some layers of texture, but not really flavor. The folds are not making it fluffy so much as kind of flaky. Yeah. So the thinness you want should just be like a nice elastic, not quite translucent, but quite thin. I mean, that's starting to get pretty good here. You kind of want to be able to see your hand through it. And then, you know, don't be afraid of it. Just give it a little tug.
If it rips, what do you do?
If it rips, stick it back together. We're going to get, this is quite a lot of filling, but you know what? I made this and I had heaps of filling left over, and we just made it into some kind of like a frittata-y thing. So don't be afraid to have extra herby, cheesy, greeny things in your fridge. Okay, so we're folding and doing some pressing. I mean, what could be better than like a salty dough with a cheesy filling? Take this little baby over. And there we go. So as that cooks, I'm gonna do some more doughs. So that's pretty good. You could have taken a bit further, but I think that kind of like crispness is good. You do kind of want to move quite quickly because of the nature of the dough. You want it crisp, you want it hot. The longer they sit, the less delicious they are. So anyway, not to panic you, but the flavors work really well. Obviously that feta is going to sing through. I think the best part of this is just getting your hands in. As you've seen, we've used our hands every step of the way, so it only makes sense to get them involved with the final product. I mean, it's just begging for a beer, right? You want a beer? As I said, eat this, I'm gonna get the others. Of course, you wanna serve it on a table. You want it to be slightly more romantic, but this kind of food, you want everyone standing around, either at the stove or very near it. It's a lot going on in there. You can choose your destiny with your condiments. I think to stick with a lemon, potentially chili, as my husband would do, throw heaps of chili at this thing. Get your hands involved, get excited, enjoy.